In this lecture, we will first talk about shadowing of variable. Here we define one simple variable and display the value of it. I can run it. This variable is accessible within this scope and inner scopes, and we also know that this is immutable variable. So now if you try to change the value of this variable, Rust will complain and say that it's immutable. But one thing that Rust allows us to do is to define completely new variable that just happens to have the same name as the upper variable. So now this variable shadows the upper variable. And when you try to display the value of the x, Rust will find the last one that is defined in the current scope. And we can check this. Yeah. Also, as I said, this is completely new variable, so this can be any type, not just number. For example, string. Okay. Now we can enter another scope into play. Here in inner scope we have another local variable, and here we just use addition of these two variables, and within this scope we can access these local variables and also the variables from the outer scope. And we can run this just to verify. Also, as we know, we can shadow the upper variable like this, and now Rust will use the same rules, so he will find the last one that is defined in the current scope, so this will be this variable. And when this scope ends, local variables will be destroyed, and on the last print, Rust will find the x variable that is defined within this current scope, and that's it, this upper x. And now we can verify this, just running the program, and we see the results. Okay, that's it about the shadowing. One nice feature that Rust has is that it can return the value from the block. So here I will paste some simple block, and here inside this inner block we have this local variable epsilon and some simple addition. So you just don't need to put semicolon at the last statement, and Rust will then try to return this value from the block. He complains here because he wants you to store this result in some variable. So we can just, using let, define some variable. And as you know, when you define the variable with the let keyword, you must always put the semicolon at the end. And we can now print the result from this block and just run it. And we see here. And usually you will not use this feature like this, but it will be used in combination with if statement, match statement, loop statement, as it will be shown in this and future lectures. Now we will talk about the conditionals. If else a conditional is very similar as in other programming languages. So that is small piece of code. So we begin conditional with a keyword if, then we have some condition that evaluates to boolean, and if this condition is satisfied, all the code inside this block will be executed. So here, if a number is greater than 50, we will print this message on the screen. We can try this. Nothing is now written, but if we increase the number, we see the message here. We can have multiple branches. So here I add 2 more branches to check if number is in the certain range, and if a condition is satisfied, I will write corresponding message on the screen. We can now test this. Here you can also add else block. This block of code will always be executed if no other condition is satisfied. So now if we change number to something like this, you can run and see that corresponding message here. The last thing I want to show you how you can return a value from the if conditional. It was previously shown how you can return the value from the block, but here we must make two more requirements. So here I just entered a small snippet of code, and there are two requirements, as I said. So the first requirement is that you must cover all the possible conditions, and that's why you must implement the else block. And another requirement is that you from each branch you must return the same variable type. And now all that is now left is to store this in some variable, so we can use let. And as you know, we must also put the semicolon at the end. And we can print to verify the results too, and we can also try with negative numbers. Yep. And that's all for today's lecture. See you in next one. Bye.